It's going to be interesting to see who is, hold on, I want you to listen to this real quick. It's going to be interesting to see who his next opponent's going to be. This is Joseph Parker calling out Anthony Joshua.
Anthony Joshua, you said I can fight you, no problem. Everyone knows that you and me want to become the world champion. I am now ranked #1 in the WBO. You are ranked #2. Come to New Zealand and fight me for the #1 position to see who fights Tyson Fury. Anthony, I have a lot of respect for you. You are a great fighter, but I'm not scared of you. You said that when we get together, someone is going to get knocked out. And guess what? That ain't going to be me.
I think that this is a fight that's going to happen sometime in the future, but I don't think this is a fight that's going to happen in 2016. Anthony Joshua is returning in April the 9th. Joseph Parker is supposed to be returning April the 17th, of course, 2016, of course. T Street Controversy. This is T Street Controversy Live, and I cover every single major fight live. Okay. Anthony Joshua, as of December of 2015, was ranked #2 by the WBO, and Joseph Parker #3. #1 was Charles Martin. Now, with the WBO, the IBF, the WBC, and all the basically the sanctioning bodies, you can't be a champion and be ranked in another organization at the same time. So since Charles Martin won the IBF title, that scratches him from the #1 spot in the WBO. Now, how does Joseph Parker leapfrog the then, when Charles Martin was ranked #2, Anthony Joshua, is beyond me. One fighter, I guess they're looking at the record and amount of 4 fights fought, because Anthony Joshua is 26 with 15 wins, 15 KOs. Joseph Parker, 24, 18 wins, 16 KOs. I guess they're looking at that. When you look at Joseph Parker, names that may ring a bell that he's fought, Brian Minto, Bowie Tupu. Remember, he fought Brian Jennings. Sherman Williams, I said Brian Minto already, Francois Botha. But how did he get such a high WBO ranking? I don't know. But when you look at the heavyweight landscape, you really can't blame them, because the fighters that they could rank has either had a fight in which they lost or already won a championship in another sanctioning body. For example, the last WBO mandatory was Tyson Fury. He beat Vladimir Klitschko. You know them two are going to be fighting again. But what this says is, I want to know if the WBO is going to make Joseph Parker the mandatory for Tyson Fury, Vladimir Klitschko winner, or will the WBO order Joseph Parker #1 to fight Anthony Joshua #2? That's going to be interesting. Now, Anthony Joshua doesn't have to go the route of fighting a Joseph Parker. Why? Is because he's ranked right behind Alexander. Damn, something flying in my fucking throat. Hold on. There we go. He's ranked, Anthony Joshua is ranked right behind It's not the asthma. Hold on. Listen to this again.
Anthony Joshua, you said I can fight you, no problem. Everyone knows that you and me want to become the world champion. I am now ranked #1 in the WBO. You are ranked #2. Come to New Zealand and fight me for the #1 position to see who fights Tyson Fury. Anthony, I have a lot of respect for you. You are a great fighter.
Okay, where was I?
I'm not scared of you.
I don't know.
You said that when we get together, someone is going to get knocked out. And guess what? That ain't going to be me.
So, what I was saying was, okay, you have Deontay Wilder. Okay, let me back up a little bit. Anthony Joshua doesn't have to go the route of fighting a Joseph Parker if the WBO orders. Why? Because he's ranked right behind Alexander Povetkin for Deontay Wilder's WBC title. So basically, the winner of Deontay Wilder versus Alexander Povetkin whenever that fight actually happens, is going to have to fight Anthony Joshua. Also, he's ranked very high by the by the WBA and the IBF. So right now, it's looking like the the WBO wants to see Joseph Parker versus Anthony Joshua, but will the promoters put it together? Now, we know when it comes to money, Anthony Joshua is the A side. Anthony Joshua would bring big money for Joseph Parker, but Joseph Parker would be a big threat in the biggest fight of Anthony Joshua's career at this point in time. You know, so would Eddie Hearn risk that? Now, one thing we do know for sure is that they're not going to be fighting next. So if it was to happen, it will likely happen sometime at the end of this year. Now, that would give Tyson Fury some time because he is actually not obligated to defend his WBO title until sometime around the end of this year or early next year. So, you know, I'm just trying to figure out, right now, would it be considered ducking if Anthony Joshua doesn't fight Joseph Parker at this point in time? You know, if he says, no, I don't want to fight Joseph Parker, I want to fight the winner of Deontay Wilder or Alexander Povetkin. And because right now it's looking like he's on the path of going the path of the green belt, or he can go after the IBF title, because what happened was there's a rumor, or is allegedly known or been talked about, that Charles Martin's team has reached out to Anthony Joshua's team. So instead of fighting Joseph Parker, he could just go directly into a title shot. And if he beats Charles Martin, that takes him out of the WBO rankings. But I don't want to sit here and confuse you guys, and I can go on all day. But the point I'm trying to make is Joseph Parker is good. Does he beat Anthony Joshua? Listen, it's a 50-50 fight. I don't know, because both guys are at the same point in time in their career right now, and it's going to be interesting to see who Joseph Parker fights. Since he's ranked #1 by the WBO, will he fight a top WBO guy? And when it comes to top WBO guys, you know, he can't fight a Vladimir Klitschko, because Vladimir Klitschko is fighting Tyson Fury again. He can't fight Charles Martin because Charles Martin is no longer in the rankings. He can't fight a Zara Glaskov. Zara Glaskov is injured. It's looking like he won't fight Alexander Povetkin, because Alexander Povetkin is waiting on a Deontay Wilder. There's a guy who's the Intercontinental WBO champion named Andre Fedorov, whatever his name is. You got top ranks Andy Ruiz. You got Edmund Gerber. You got Erkan Taper, who's right now looking like, who's looking like he's not going to be fighting for quite some time because he's dealing with the steroid thing. You got WBO Europe champion Michael Wolosk. Can't be Artur Szpilka, because Artur Szpilka is likely not going to fight Anthony Joshua in New Zealand. You got Carlos Takam. That would be a good fight. You got Lucas Brown, who's going to be fighting Ruslan Chagayev. And you got somebody who's in the top 15, who's number 15, whose name I can't pronounce. So the question I'm having is he going to stay on the WBO path when he fights in April and fight somebody in the WBO top 15? Because that's going to let me know that he's really solidifying his WBO #1 spot. Or will he fight again another name that we don't know, or somebody we haven't heard of in New Zealand? History Controversy. This is History Controversy Live. Please subscribe.